What would you say to the person that's like, I'm not even sure if I believe this whole Jesus thing?
I don't think belief is a prerequisite for coming and engaging the scriptures. In fact, I would actually maybe say, if you're coming to the scriptures with an open heart, an open mind, and even going, I'm interested, I'm curious, I don't know, I would say that's not a bad place to come to the scriptures. And I would just remember, and there's things in the scriptures too that you're going to read and you're like, what does that mean? How is that possible? What is that? That's all right. Like, let it be mysterious. You don't have to, again, it's not a textbook to be solved. And, so, I mean, that's where I'd start.
I think every time, anything I've ever believed started as something I didn't. Like every belief I've ever had started as a disbelief until I believed. And, I think it's something we miss.
Well, and how many times, like, remember that one guy who comes to Jesus and he says, I believe, help my unbelief. He says that's his sentence. I believe, help my unbelief. They live side by side, and Jesus doesn't rebuke him. Jesus doesn't get angry. Jesus doesn't condemn him. He actually says, you have faith, which is pretty cool. And then in Matthew 28, one of the last things you see is it says Jesus at this point had risen from the grave, and he had shown himself. He had shown himself to people. And there's eyewitness accounts of this that are recorded. So I can't believe how mind-blowing that must have been for them. It's mind-blowing for us. And it says that they all congregated on this hillside, and Jesus was in front of them. They saw him die, and now he's in front of them. And it says, this is so cool, and they worshiped him, and some of them doubted. And that's about, by the way, if you're going to make up, you don't put that in there. See, these are the kinds of things that, again, just lend so much credibility to the Gospels. You do not put women as the first eyewitnesses to the resurrection. Women weren't even allowed to testify in court in the first century. Like, they were seen to be, you'd make stuff, women were assumed to be making stuff up. And yet the gospel writers have them as the first on the scene. If it's not true, you don't put that in there.
Wow.
It's
so
true.
If you're trying to tell a good story.
If it's propaganda, they messed up. It's not. Or else it's true. And you don't put they worship and some of them doubted. But my bigger point with that is worship and doubt apparently can live together. So I would say bring your doubts. Jesus is big enough. He'll take care of them. You don't have to act like they're not there.